Good evening, everybody. Brett Glover here with Real Life Trading, bringing you a real life stock setup here to watch through the rest of this week and into next week. And as we saw today, the indexes are selling off pretty heavily right now. So there's not a lot of great setups out there, at least not yet. And so what I did is I went to look for some relative strength that I could find in the marketplace. And I came across CARR. It's a stock that I have traded before. But relatively newer IPO from March of 2020. And since it opened, this thing has just been on an absolute tear upwards. So just looking at the weekly chart here, you can see we've traded up nicely above the 8 or the 10. We've retested our 20 EMA a few times, and we did it again here. And now we are starting to curl back up. Looking over to the daily chart, if I can just adjust this, you can see this trend line from down here to connect here to connect to these two. We are holding this trend line very nicely. Not too long ago, we traded up, kind of made a little bit of a double topish, if you will. Not quite, but and then we started to trade back down from 58 all the way down to 50. Just kind of looking at a quick wave count. Kind of have maybe a 1, 2, 3 here, and then maybe a 1, 2 setup. We have a little bit of a retest gap here in this area. In this, so far during the sell-off today, CARR actually held up relatively nicely, holding above this trend line here. So a couple of things that I'm going to be looking for if I were to take this trade is, number one, since we made a high here and we traded back down, we did make a lower low from this low here. Then we traded back up, made a lower high, traded back down, we made a higher low here. And so what I ideally would like to see is for us to trade above this level, right above 55.33, make that higher high, come back down, and maybe fill this gap on a retest, or retest this trend line and make a higher low as well. At that point, I'd be looking for a trade just to kind of play it a little bit conservatively. If you want to look for targets, again, I'm a huge fan of fibs, as you know, from my high to low. I'd be targeting 61.33 to 64.43. So again, this one's going to take just a little bit of patience. I know the setup looks pretty good right now, I think. But again, I'd rather be a little more safe than sorry. So again, since we've made a lower low here and a lower high, and now we've made a higher low, I want to see us trade up a little bit, make a higher high, maybe come back down, either hold this trend line here or possibly even fill this gap and retest that 100. Look for a reversal candle there to take entry and to take off from there. So that's what I'm going to be looking for on CARR. And again, appreciate you listening. If you have any questions, reach out to anybody into the room. As always, have a wonderful week of trading, and we will see you next time.